have a lot of alocasia to cover today. Welcome, I'm Melissa, and today's video is going to be my complete alocasia collection. And I'm going to go over each and every one with you and talk about them a bit more. I do have a lot of alocasia in my collection, so I'm going to try and keep it to a minimum chatting about each one because I don't want this video to be crazy long. I absolutely love alocasia. It's probably my top favorite plant genus other than Monstera. I seriously adore them so much, and I've collected so many over the years. I probably have 29 or 30 different varieties, but I probably have like closer to 33 that I'm actually counting as plants in my own collection. I have one that is not here yet that is a baby plug, and then I had a couple that came yesterday and the day before that you guys haven't seen yet that I'm going to share with you. I do have more alocasia on my wish list that I probably will get eventually, so I know my collection is going to continue to grow for alocasia. Before we get started, I do want to say that all of my alocasia are grown in pon or semi-hydro. I have transitioned all of them over. The ones that aren't in pon yet are either new or they're in stratum on their way being transitioned over to pon. Ever since I tried pon, I just cannot go back for alocasia. I love it so much and they seem really happy in it for the most part. I do want to say that most of them are here in my plant room, so it's very warm in here. It is the south facing part of the house, so here where I live, it's very good light during the day. So they get good light, although a lot of them aren't over by this window, so they do get most of their light from grow lights, and I would say humidity is roughly 50s in this room. I have all the alocasia written down here because I could not remember them. I didn't want to forget anything. And how I'm going to do this is I'm going to start with the letter A and go down the list to Z. I don't have any that start with Z, but I'm going to start at the top and go down. So that's how I'm going to do this video and show you my alocasia collection. So without further ado, let's get started here. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope you enjoy my collection. Starting off with A is Alocasia. I always pronounce it Azlanii, but I think it's pronounced Azlanii is how you're supposed to say it. And this one here has been with me, I would say, since last year, I think is when I got this one. I got this at the big box store. I will have the names of the Alocasia on the screen as I talk about them and where I got them if I remember and how long approximately I've had them for. This one has been a bit of a challenging Alocasia. It has come down with a fungal issue, I think, recently. There's something going on, and it actually had a fungal issue right after I bought it, and the whole plant completely died. This is actually not the original. This is corms that I was able to salvage off the plant and grow back. So I do really love this alocasia and I think it's beautiful. I will say that it is a bit finicky in that sense that I feel like it's very sensitive to fungal issues, very prone to it. Now you can't really tell, but the leaves have really bright red veining in certain light. I don't think it's going to come across in the lighting that we have currently, but if you take this plant into the light at night and shine light on the plant leaves, and that's what made me fall in love with this particular alocasia, is because I loved that color and that veining. It's a very beautiful alocasia. It kind of has like a rubbery feel in a way. But yeah, you can see some spots on it that have shown up that I'm a little weary of. It's kind of on some leaves. So I'm going to treat this plant again for a fungal issue and kind of isolate it. I have thought about maybe purchasing the variegated version, but knowing how finicky this one is, like the regular one, I don't think I'm going to purchase a variegated, because if they're anything like this one, I don't want to deal with a variegated one being finicky like this. I feel like it loves semi-hydro as far as I can tell, and it's done well since I put it in here, but yeah, because of the fungal issue going on probably again, if this thing dies, I will not grow it again. I'll sell all the babies I have and then write this one off my list. Because if it's not happy in my environment and the care that I give it, then I'm not going to stress about trying to grow it. It's a beautiful alocasia, just a bit finicky. Next up is Alocasia Bambino. I think it is a cultivar of the Amazonica, and you guys haven't seen this alocasia yet, but I got a new one. This is the one that I bought recently, and it was a tiny plug, And I'm not sure the variegation is going to be that good on it. So I went ahead and splurged on a more mature one because I really wanted this plant to be highly variegated. It's so beautiful. And I got this one 2 days ago, so I haven't done anything with it yet. It's still in the original mix. I haven't watered it or anything. I'm just kind of letting it acclimate and hang out. But I will be moving this to Pon. I want you to see the leaves on this cutie. Look at all that pink. Like that leaf there is gorgeous. This one here is like all pink. You can see actually some edema on this one, I think because the substrate was pretty wet and then being shipped in a box for a few days, you know, it's taken up a lot of that moisture and it's showing on the leaf tissue there. These ones over here are very beautiful too. That one has some edema, you can see. It's so beautiful. I could tell this one is a bit more mature because it's already starting to produce some corms down in there. And I love how cute and petite it is with the pink. I love pink on plants. I don't have any pink plants, but I love all the tones of like the pink and the mint and the green. It is such a beautiful alocasia. This one that I got originally, I'm not sure that I'm gonna hold on to this one. I'm gonna grow it out though and see how it does, but I'll probably let this one go eventually because I won't need to, especially if this one is lower variegation. This is a new leaf that it just gave me, this one here. And you can see it doesn't have much color. And then these were the original leaves. Like that one has some good color there. And it had one more over here. And it is working on a new one. And this one's currently in stratum. And then once it grows enough roots, my plan was to move this one to Pon. But I might not move it to Pon if I don't hang on to this one. I'm gonna see what this next leaf here does. I can't really tell what it's going to do just yet, but we'll see. I don't know. I might hang on to this little cutie. This one I'm super excited for because the color is gorgeous and I love this plant. This has been a wish list alocasia for a while. I went back and forth on it because I knew they were expensive, but I don't know. I really wanted the Amazonica pink. Like that one is a dream to own. So this one here was kind of like similar in a sense, except the leaves are smaller. But I really love this plant. It's beautiful. I'm excited to have it. So Alocasia Bambino variegated. Next up is this cutie here. This is, I call it Alocasia Bisma, but it also goes by platinum, I think just because of the color maybe of the leaves. It is a gorgeous and stunning alocasia. I got this one earlier this year. I saw someone post it on social media and I fell in love with it. I went searching for it immediately. I love the dark center. Isn't that a gorgeous alocasia? I'm gonna get a couple new leaves here soon, here in the middle. I love the pink stems too. They're not like super pink, but it kind of fades into this like green color. It's very cool. And it's very thick. This is a very thick leafed alocasia. It feels very like leathery in a sense. Did you hear it squeak? It's so cool. I really love it. It's been a really easy care alocasia for me. I got it in soil and I put it in water I think for a couple weeks and then I moved it to Pon and it hasn't shocked at all. Like a lot of these are original leaves still here on the bottom. And it's had no issues at all acclimating to Pon. And then when I put it into Pon, it gave me like these really huge leaves. I think this is the newest one. You see how big it is, which is crazy. So I highly recommend this alocasia. If you've been wanting one that kind of looks like this or you've been eyeing it but wasn't sure, I say definitely go for it. Hands down, it's beautiful and so easygoing for me. And I love her. I have nothing bad to say about her. She's gorgeous. Next on our list is Alocasia Black Velvet. This is one of my OG alocasias. I've had this one for a while. This actually isn't my first black velvet. The first one didn't make it, but it was probably like the third alocasia that I ever bought, like way back in 2020, 2021. And I've struggled to grow this alocasia, you guys. It did not grow for me for the longest time. I don't know, for some reason it never would grow. It would never hold on to more than, I feel like, a few leaves at a time. And it wasn't until I moved her into Pon that she started growing well for me. And she's produced some pretty big leaves here in the front. We got this one here. I love the dark black leaves with that white like veining in the center. It is a beautiful alocasia. This one here, she is beautiful, very velvety. I love the feel of this alocasia. I love the deep dark look. She is beautiful. She was one of the earlier alocasias that I put into Pon, so I would say she's been in Pon maybe like 11 months. It hasn't been quite a year. Maybe it could have been a year. I don't remember now. But she really loves semi-hydro. I recently just finally upsized her in my latest like plant chores video that I did. I did like an alocasia care day, and she was in the same small planter for almost a year, and I pulled, I think, I had 11 corms total. I found one extra that I took off of her in that video. So now I'm currently growing Alocasia Black Velvet babies, and she's doing well since her upsize. It's been a few days and she's really happy. I love this alocasia so much that I actually went out and bought the variegated one, which is right here. Look how beautiful she is. This is the newest leaf here in the center. So this is pink variegated black velvet. This leaf here is stunning. Look at that chunk of white and pink. This leaf here was my favorite because it has the minty tones and everything. I mean, look at this plant. Tell me that is not a gorgeous, gorgeous plant. She is stunning, and I even have a new leaf coming in right there in the center, right there. And I love the underside too. So not only is the front of this plant beautiful, but the underside, you can see all the tones of pink and everything. It is so pretty. I'm in love with this alocasia at the moment. I feel like this one is the one that I've been staring at and just really appreciating the most because she was not cheap. I did splurge on this one, but again, I really love black velvet and I really had to have this one. And I'm so glad I made the splurge. I feel like so far she's been pretty easygoing. She came in soil, I moved her to stratum, and then I transitioned her to Pon. Was it last month? I believe it was last month. I do have everything that I filmed on this plant under my like Pon care videos. And so far she's done well in Pon. She lost a couple of her little baby original leaves, and then this was like her first leaf in Pon, and you can see how much it's sized up. And this next one here has some good color coming in. So I have a feeling that one's going to be a pretty decent size leaf too. But I would say she's really happy in semi-hydro, and I can't wait until I can get corms to grow off of this one. But she's beautiful. I love her so much. If you've been waiting to get this one, I say do it. It's going to make you so happy. Buy her. Do it now. Stop this video and buy it. I love her so much. She's gorgeous. Look at her. We are moving on to C. This is Alocasia Cuprea, or mine is actually Red Secret is the kind that mine is. Look at this leaf, you guys. She is such a beautiful alocasia. My dream alocasia that I want right now is a variegated Alocasia Cuprea. They're so gorgeous, the ones with the pink. I will own one of those one day. She is beautiful. I recently put this one into Pon. I filmed in that alocasia video. It's been a few days and she seems really happy so far, and I had her in water for a while before this. This alocasia has been on a little bit of a journey with me. I got her in 22 in soil, and she went downhill a couple of times. She had a fungal issue. I've had to rehab her back, and so now I finally have her in Pon. I think she's really, really gonna love it and grow even better for me. This is the latest leaf here. I do have a couple growth points here, and this one's actually making its way out since I put her into Pon right here. So I'm gonna get a couple new leaves. This was my original plant, and then I have a corm that I grew from her. So I have two small plants in here. The shimmer on this plant leaf is insane. It's really hard to make out on camera, but in certain light, you can actually see the beautiful shimmering tones. It's like purple and shimmery. The backside is that beautiful maroon color. This is a newer leaf here, and it feels like kind of leathery in a way too. I love like the ribbing. I love that on this alocasia. Probably one of my favorite alocasias that I own. I just love this plant so much, and I definitely recommend, if you don't have Cuprea, I say get one. You won't be disappointed. So yes, I recommend. Moving on, we have our dragon scales, and I have a few different varieties to show you. This is the original dragon scale. Well, actually, technically, I bought this one as a variegated dragon scale, and the variegation is, it's hard to describe. It's not very prominent. It's more of like a kind of like light green, dark green variegation. It's prominent on the newer leaves, but once the leaves harden, you can't make it out at all. So I don't know what kind of dragon scale mine actually is. And this one hasn't been an easy one for me. It recently came down with a fungal issue, so I've had to cut a lot of growth away. And I feel like it's been challenging to grow in pon. Even in soil, it was challenging for me. I do keep a lot of my pon at a more acidic pH, so I actually think I'm going to try growing mine in a more alkaline environment and see how it tolerates it. I have heard that these ones do kind of prefer, I think, a more alkaline environment because the pH is roughly a 6.5, so I think I might bump it up to like a 7.5 and see how it goes and if I notice any kind of changes. And it's not that she's not growing, it's just she hasn't, like, I don't know, she hasn't exploded, you know what I mean? And let me show you what the variegation kind of looks like if it's gonna come across on camera. Do you see there where it's like a dark green, light green? And the corms that I grow off of her have this variegation as well. Well, I shouldn't say all of them, but the ones that I have grown out. But then once it grows into like its hardened state, you can't make it out anymore. So it's very interesting. It's kind of cool, I guess. But yeah, definitely a pickier one for me and one that I love, but it's a little bit more of a challenge for me. So I'm excited to see if changing the environment here will, oh, hi, Luna, will somehow make a difference.
Oh, yeah, you got your colors. You got your colors. Let me know. Let me know. Okay, here. You know, you know. Show me your colors. You know. Show me your colors. You know. You know.
Okay, I'm back. I had to distract her. So next up is the, out of the dragon scale, is the Albo variegated. And this one I got earlier this year. And I love this one. Of course, I love the variegation. Look at that leaf. Isn't that gorgeous? This is the newest one, which is very interesting. Look how long it is. It's an odd shape. And she's working on a new one right here, which I can tell is going to be gorgeous. She's beautiful. Again, with the dragon scale, I'm a little weary that something's gonna happen to her. I think I might try the more alkaline environment, or if you grow dragon scale and you know, if they prefer that, let me know, but I'm gonna try it out and see how it goes. Now, I have found these like jewel alocasias to be a little more sensitive to edema, which I have gotten edema on mine. Like you can see, I have some edema there. And it's just where there's so much water that the plant uptakes that it kind of is like busting the cells, and you can kind of see it through the leaf tissue. And the only way to really prevent that is just to watch your watering. But sometimes for me, like, I don't know, I can't really water these frequently without any water in here, just knowing like my watering habits and everything. So I don't know, I just get edema sometimes, it happens. But you can try leaving less water and letting them go a little bit more on the drier side to help prevent that. But like I said, I just fill my pon up when I'm watering, and yeah, that way I don't accidentally forget and accidentally let one get like super dry, but it's okay. So I hope I can keep her happy. I haven't gotten any corms yet from her either, but I hope to grow some out because I'm very like excited to see what the variegation is gonna do on like corms from her, you know. The last kind of dragon scale is the silver dragon, and this one I feel like is a little bit easier going than the regular dragon scale. And I don't do like anything different care wise. This one's grown a lot and some of the leaves have gotten kind of big on her. I haven't decided if I wanted to branch out and get the variegated version of this one yet. I'm still like debating that. I love this one so much though. I love like the silvery, just the silvery color of this one. It's really pretty. And I love the underside too, where it has like the red veining. Isn't that so pretty? Ooh, this is a newer leaf here in the middle. I love the new leaves. They're like so fresh, you know? It's very beautiful. I have had the silver dragon and the dragon scale I showed you for a while. I don't think I got these at the big box store. I think that one was like a random purchase I found online. And this one, I think I probably got at a local store because I remember when these came to the big box store and I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe that you can get a silver dragon at a big box store now. Like I was in shock that they were becoming more accessible, I guess. But yeah, I think I got mine from like a local nursery, but it is cool that they're more like common nowadays. But yeah, I really love this one and the texture and everything. So love her. Whoa. Next up is this big girl. Look at her. This is Alocasia Heterophylla. It's also known as dragon's breath. And I got this one last year. I love the top of the leaves and then it goes down to a point. I love how long they are. Like this one here is a newer one. Look how skinny and cool that is. It's so unique. This one really loves semi-hydro. So this one, the original plant of this one died. I did a pond transfer from soil and it didn't like that and the whole thing completely melted. This alocasia, if you have it like in soil, it really likes consistency because if you go in water, if it takes up too much water at once, it's very prone to melting. So the whole stem basically just turns to mush. And that's what happened when I first put this one into pon. And so luckily I had some corms saved and I was able to grow her back. But ever since I put these corms into pon, like this is all grown back. She is massive. She's so big. I saw this one on social media and again, I had to like run and get it because I just thought it was so cool. It's so beautiful and unique. So yeah, I would recommend this alocasia because it grows pretty fast, like once it's happy and everything, but I will say just be mindful of like the melting that can happen. But it's such a unique alocasia in shape. I love the color. I love her so much. Up next is this little two-leaf wonder. This is Alocasia Infernalis. It has these really cool dark leaves. This one has been a bit of a challenge for me. I got this one earlier this year. I found this at the big box store and I did my normal transfer like I normally do. I think I had this one in water and then I did my pond transfer. And I would say after like a week or so, after I put it into pon, all the original leaves like flopped over and they yellowed and died off. And so these were like new leaves that have grown in. It was very strange. So I don't know like what happened with this alocasia, what prompted it to do that. But based off of my experience so far, it hasn't been an easy one. I mean, I haven't had it for that long, but for it to do that, I just feel like, okay, well, maybe it just is, maybe it's shocked. So I don't know. It's had these two leaves for a little bit, so it hasn't done like any new ones since. So I'm a little weary of this one, but I love the color. It's very like dark black, purple, dark green. You can see all the tones to it. I'm excited to see what it's going to do in some time, but if this one, it gives me trouble, I will not grow this one. Like I wouldn't repurchase it. I don't have any corms from this plant. I don't think it was mature enough to actually have any. So yeah, if it goes downhill, then yeah, I'm not repurchasing. I think it was just one of those alocasias I saw at the big box store. I'm like, oh, what are you? I don't have you. You're coming home with me type of thing. It wasn't one that I was like actively like wanting or searching for. So I do really like it. I love the dark leaves, but I would say it's probably not one of my favorites right now, but who knows, that may change later. If it actually grows well for me, I may end up really loving it. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend this one to start out with just because it seems a bit finicky. Next up, I'm going to go ahead and talk about Miss Jacklyn. This is known as Alocasia Tandurusa, but a lot of people call her Alocasia Jacklyn. And she is massive, you guys. I have 3 leaves on her. I have this beautiful one. This is the newest one here. And then I have one more hiding over here. So I have 3 huge leaves. And this plant is really big, you guys. Look at the stems as well. Isn't that so cool? I love the stem and the color. It's like, it has a cool texture as well. I don't know, it's such a cool alocasia. I don't have one that looks like this, so that's why I love it so much. I love the leaf shape and everything. And it has such a cool texture. I don't know if the camera is gonna pick it up or not, but the leaves have little hairs, little white fuzzy hairs on them, which is so unique. Yeah, I love the veining. That is so cool. I love the hair. I love hairy plants. I would say Alocasia Jacklyn has been somewhat of a challenging plant for me. It's taken me a while to get her to be like to this state. I struggled with her initially, and when I put her into Pon, I would say she did well initially, and then she went downhill. She started yellowing. I had like 3 leaves when I put her into Pon, and then she was down to 1. And my conclusion was that she was being underfed. I felt like this one really likes her nutrients, and she does live like in a more acidic environment, like I said, a pH of 6.5, and she seems really happy with that. She definitely drinks up a lot of water because she's such a massive plant. I haven't decided if I want the variegated one. I've seen them and I've been tempted a little, but I don't know, because I know this one was a bit of a challenge for me to grow, so I'm like, do I really want to splurge on the variegated one if it's been somewhat of a challenge? So I haven't decided. I think the variegated one is cute, but I don't know if I want her to be variegated. I really like this regular green version, so I don't know. I'm still debating, but I have been tempted to get a variegated one. But I love this alocasia. I think this one's one of my top ones just because it's so unique and she's so big and beautiful. Like, let me back away. She's huge, you guys. So I say give it a go if you've been wanting this alocasia. Give her a try and see how it goes for you. If this plant did go downhill for me, I would absolutely repurchase. I feel like this is an alocasia that I would want to always have in my collection. And I was able to take some babies off of her recently. I did a whole like corm search on her, so I'm excited to grow out the babies. But I love, love, love this alocasia. Next up is this little cutie here. This is a newer alocasia in my collection. This is Alocasia Longiloba purple. And I got her as plant mail, like I said, recently, and she's sort of shocked a bit. And it was my own fault. I was a little late opening her package. I messed with her right away and got her out of soil because I was excited to get her into stratum and put into Pon. And usually I let plants acclimate for a bit. So yeah, it was probably my fault that she's shocked, but basically her entire root system rotted, just completely shocked. When I put her into a fresh thing of stratum, I did see some healthy roots starting to grow in. So she's going to be fine. Just a little bit of a setback. But I love the plant leaf. When I saw this online, the plant leaf was very, very bright and purple in the sunlight. It was gorgeous. I'll try and find the photo and put it here. And you can't really like tell right now, like the color on it, but I love the shape. I love like long alocasia leaves. Kind of reminds me of the Heterophylla that I just showed you. I love the look of this one. So the back looks like that classic maroon color, and the stem is kind of cool and everything. So yeah, I can't wait till she bounces back for me and I get her growing, but I'm excited for this one. I'm excited to have it. It keeps flipping. I'm really excited to have it and grow this one. So I hope it does well and everything. And once I actually get enough roots in here, then I'll put her into Pon. But I hope she likes Pon, but she's a cutie and I can't wait to grow this one. So moving on, this is Alocasia. I think it's Macrorhizae, or isn't it also called like California Alocasia, but this is the variegated one. Now this one has been a bit of, I would say a bit of a finicky one for me. This is the newest leaf and it is absolutely to die for. Gorgeous. And the thing that I'm having an issue with is it tends to brown very easily. And I know that's very common on variegated plants, but you can see how papery thin it is. You can actually see like my fingers through here. It's like, it feels like thinner than a piece of like tissue. It's so thin and papery. And it, like I said, it browns a lot. And I think it's probably just, maybe it's sensitive to water. I think probably maybe just the edema is causing the leaf to kind of get thin like that. I mean, obviously variegated plants tend to brown more easily, but I can't keep it like white and pristine. It just, I don't know. I got this one as a very, very tiny plug last year and it didn't do that well trying to grow it. And I had it in soil for a little bit. And then I moved it to more light, you know, because of the irrigation, and I don't know, I still couldn't really make it happy. So I moved it to Pon, hoping Pon would be a better growing environment for it. And it's taken off in Pon as far as growing and stuff. I think these are all pretty much new leaves. Like all the original leaves have either yellowed or browned. So if you grow this plant or care for this plant, how do you maintain it without it doing this craziness? I don't know, I'm tempted to take it back out of Pon and put it in a soil mix or something. So I don't know. I really like it. Like it's a beautiful alocasia and I love like the ruffling too. It has a beautiful, beautiful like edge to it. I don't know, it's just not as pristine as I would like. I've seen these, not in person, but on social media where the leaves look pretty like nice and bright and white like this. And it's a healthy like looking plant. So I don't know if it's something I'm doing, but we'll see. I like the stem too. It's like, it reminds me of Monstera albo, the green and white. It's really cute. So I really like this one. It's just a bit of a harder one for me to maintain like nice pretty leaves. So we'll see. I hope it does well here. But again, if you have any advice for me with this one, let me know. Next up is one of my OGs. This is Alocasia Maharani. And I've had this alocasia for a really long time. It was one of my original ones. I think I bought this when I got my black velvet. And this one has the coolest texture. It is so cool. I was tempted to get the Alocasia Mellow because it looks very similar to this one. But since I had this one, I felt like I didn't need both of them. And I do want to get the Variegated Maharani one day because I love the look of the Variegated Maharanis. I love the gray, blue, silvery tone of this one. So I love this original one a lot, but I don't know, I really want the Variegated. It's on my wish list. She really seems to love semi-hydro. She's done well. I feel like this one hasn't been like a finicky alocasia for me. I think I have a total of 3 corms in here. I think there's the original plant and then maybe a corm popped up on its own. But yeah, this one I adore and it seems really easygoing and yeah, it loves Pon. So yes, a classic. I think I will always have this alocasia because I love it so much. I accidentally burned a couple of her top leaves from the grow light. She was getting a little too tall, you see there, which was kind of sad that that happened, but that's okay. She is still beautiful. Next up is going to be none other than these beautiful girls back here. This is Alocasia Micholitziana. It's also known as like the green velvet. And the variegated version I have as well down there. I don't know if you can see. The variegated version is known as Alocasia Frydek. So there's actually 4 plants, 4 alocasia in this corner. There's 2 of the green and 2 of the variegated. I recently did a whole story on my Alocasia Micholitziana from when I got her to where she is now. She's had a bit of a journey with me. She hasn't always looked so big and beautiful. She went downhill at one point, which was very sad, and she was down to a stump. And she's the plant that I actually decided to try Pon with, and I stuck her in Pon, not having used it before, not knowing anything, and this is what started my Pon journey for alocasia. So after about 6 months of being in Pon, she grew back. It was amazing. Like I was a believer at that point, and I love her so much. So the top half of her, I ended up propagating her. The top half is the bigger one in the back, and then the bottom is shoved in the corner. That's her bottom half. And then I have the variegated one and I have a corm off the variegated one, and they both are like the similar same size now. Here is one of the variegated ones. It's hard to show you. These leaves are about 1 foot long, so pretty big leaves. I love variegated Frydek. Again, one of my top favorite alocasia. This is the newer leaf here. It's nice and fresh. Not as much color on that one. This one I would say is the lower variegation out of the Frydek, but this one came from my mother plants. But I've taken many corms off of her, and I do want to go corm digging again. But this is the one, and I adore her. Oh my goodness. Ah. So this one here is a bit more variegated. Oh, this is a nice leaf. I love that one. And this one here is a newer leaf. Oh, gorgeous, right? Like, come on, how can you not love this plant? And then I also have another corm down here that is growing, which is very variegated. She's beautiful. I love all the tones. I love the leaves that come in more white looking like that. And I love the ones that have like a more yellow appearance like that. It's very interesting how some of them grow like more white and more of like, I wouldn't say Aurea, but more of like a cream color. Like this new leaf is to die for. It's gorgeous. It's an absolute perfect leaf. And I love this plant so much. I was gonna part ways with one of them, but I am gonna hold on to both of them. You can kind of see the Micholitziana a bit more back there. It is crazy how much this plant has grown. I love the leaves on Micholitziana. So you can see where I had chopped her. This is the base here in the middle. And so when I chopped her, she grew 2 sections each. So there's like 1 stalk, 2, and then 3 and 4. So this is 4 stalks that have grown and to this like massive plant. Let me sit her down. And so she is the big one there in the back. She's grown some huge leaves again recently. She's in a very heavy lechuza planter, so I can't really pick her up. I think I've cut like 15 or so blooms off of her, which is crazy, but she's finally producing some bigger leaves again, and I need to water her too. I recently flushed all my alocasias and everything out, but she is a thirsty girl because she is big. I don't know eventually what I'll do with her if she outgrows that space, but I'll probably have to move her to the floor because I have her on a plant stand. But yes, I got this alocasia back in, I think, 21, so she's been with me a long time. So yeah, one of my favorites. I love all Alocasia, Micholitziana, Frydek, Variegated. I love them all. Moving on, so this little cutie here is Alocasia Ninja. It's supposed to be the variegated one though. I believe when I bought this, they had it labeled as Alocasia Black Velvet Variegated, but it's definitely not Black Velvet. It's definitely a Ninja. You can see the leaves are a lot different than the Black Velvet. I don't know if you can make it out. That's the newer one there. And so I got this as a tiny tissue culture in like a little packet. I did the whole acclimation process and it's all completely like reverted. I have a couple separate little strands, little corms that have a tiny blip of variegation there, and that one has a tiny blip of variegation. So I am curious, once this plant matures enough to actually grow corms, if the corms will come in variegated at all or if they'll be regular. But as far as like all the new growth on the main plant here, like everything has come in completely reverted. I love how like petite it is too. I don't know how big these plant leaves get on this one, but it's so cool. I love how cute they are. So I'm hoping this one kind of stays a little bit little. I'm hoping I get some of the cool like variegation to come back, but we'll see. I'm gonna put this one into Pon. It's actually rooted quite a bit now. I have it in stratum. So this one is ready for semi-hydro. So I'll probably transfer her when I get some time and move her over. And it looks like I'll be getting another new leaf here soon. And I don't know if these separate corms, or this might be the same corm actually, yes. This that has the variegation is one corm. So I don't know if a new leaf will come in with any color or not, but I am curious about that. It's definitely a cool alocasia. I'm excited to have it and grow it out and see what the corms do on this one. So it's cutie. Alocasia Ninja Variegated, but reverted. Next up is a little cutie that I got. It came yesterday, actually. You guys haven't seen this one. This was a gift from Taz. I purchased one of her corms and she was so sweet. Her mom was so sweet to include this in the package. And I don't have this plant at all. And it's actually a variegated one. So this is a pink dragon, but it's the Aurea. And look how cute, you guys. Look, it's so cute. I love the little shape of that leaf. It is adorable. And the pink stems, it looks like it's working on a new leaf down there, right down in there. She has it in a little bit of pon and a little wick situation. So that was very thoughtful of her mom and so kind of them to gift this to me. This actually wasn't even on my radar, but now that I have it, I really like it. I really, really like it. It's so stinking cute and I'm so excited to grow it out. Like, look how petite this is. I'm in love with this little guy already. It's so cute. And yeah, it's adorable. I love the variegation pattern. It's like all speckled and everything. It's a cutie. So since it's already in pon, yeah, it's already like living in pon, so I'll upsize it eventually as it grows a little bit more. It's just like in a little net pot, it looks like. So it's adorable. I'm so excited for it. So excited for it. It's so cute. Next up is Alocasia poly, and I do have a few varieties of Alocasia poly that I want to show you. And I have one that's not here yet. That's the one that I was talking about. It's a Aurea variegated. It's supposed to be a very tiny plug, so I don't know how it will be when I get it, but I don't know what prompted me to buy it. I guess because it was the Aurea variegated, I wanted to get it. And I've done well with tiny plugs that I've gotten. So first up, this here is the original Alocasia poly. It looks like this. It's a beautiful Alocasia. I feel like the leaves are a bit smaller, and I really want the pink variegated Amazonica. Oh my gosh, those are so drool worthy. If I can get one that's like really pink, I would love one of those one day. But the original poly is very beautiful. It has like that leathery feel, and I love the veining. It's very prominent. And I love the backside too. The backside, you can see all the veining on there. I've had my original poly for a while. I don't remember where I got this Alocasia. I honestly don't. And I like that this one has more of a gray tone to its leaf. It looks a bit different compared to, it's like that one's more green and that one's more gray. I really like this gray tone. Isn't that interesting? Like, that is beautiful. It really likes semi-hydro. It's actually grown taller now that this leaf here got burnt accidentally, the new leaf. It was squished, so it looks a little wonky. It was like up under the grow light. I really like this one. I feel like it has been a bit of a slower one for me to actually grow. I honestly don't know why. Maybe because it just took a while to get going in semi-hydro. I don't know, but it's just a unique Alocasia. I love the shape and everything and the color. So I feel like this is an OG one. So this is one of the variegated ones that I got. This one is actually a mint poly. And look at those leaves. Is that not unique? Is that so cool? I got this one as a very, very tiny plug. You can actually see some of the original leaves down in there. They were so tiny. I wasn't sure how this plant was going to do or what the variegation was going to be like, because it spit out this like all green leaf, was like the first leaf, and then it spit out these two leaves, which is so unique. It's so cool. I love all the tones, the mint and the pink. This is the newest one here. Even the backside is very beautiful on this plant. It's so cool. And I do have a new leaf coming in right there. It seems to love pon so far, and I really think the variegation on it is so unique. I'm really happy I have it, and it's done really well since I've had it. You know, it started so small that it took a while to actually get going, but now that it's been growing pretty steadily, I would say I got these over the last like 2-3 months. So I'm excited to have another new leaf and see what it does. I don't have any corms yet from this guy, but I am curious to grow out corms and see what it does. But yeah, I love this one. And this one here is supposed to be a pink variegated poly, which it looks similar to, I guess, Amazonica. The leaves are, I guess, a bit on the smaller side still. And I wasn't sure how this one was going to do either, because I got this one again as a tiny plug. And some of these like original leaves were not variegated at all. I was a little disappointed in this one. And the first leaf it put out, I think in Pon, was this one. And I remember seeing that pink and I was like, oh my gosh, is this plant actually gonna grow in variegated for me? And then it put out this one here, which was even more beautiful. It's the biggest one so far. And then this is the newest one, which is smaller, but do you notice anything with this one? The variegation is more of like a green and not a pink, like right here. I thought that was so interesting. So I still consider this one a low variegation. It does have a new leaf on the way, so I'm very curious to see what that's gonna do and what the variegation is gonna be like. I did take some corms off her and one of the leaves has sprouted with variegation, so I'm excited to grow out some corms and see what the variegation is gonna be like. I don't know, I think variegation is so cool because I don't know, you just don't know what it's gonna be like when you get like a variegated plant and what the variegation is gonna do. Obviously when you buy like corms and stuff, it is a risk you're taking, but it's so cool to see what they're gonna do to me. I just find it fascinating. So this one I adore. She's growing very well and I'm very excited to have some with some variegation, but I really want a really pink Amazonica one day. Next up is one of my OGs and one of my favorites is Alocasia Regal Shields. Look at these new leaves. Isn't she beautiful? I love Regal Shields. This was my, as far as I can remember, this was the very first Alocasia that I ever purchased. I have like an old photo of this one like way back in the day on my plant shelf I used to have. And I adore her so much. She's been on a bit of a journey with me with a lot of my Alocasias coming down with fungal issues and going downhill, but she was one that I waited to put into Pon until recently because I just kept putting it off, and I stuck her in Pon, was it a few weeks now, and she's given me this leaf and this leaf since being in Pon, which hasn't been that long, which is crazy. I stuck her in here and I didn't have any roots at all. I just chopped away at her base, stuck her in here, and I can lift her up now because she is rooted in here. Yeah, and she's given me these two huge leaves. So I love her. Out of all my Alocasia, I would say once they're happy, like this one grows very fast, very well, big leafy leaves. I've seen these at the big box store recently, like huge plants. Like these guys can get huge. So if you're looking for like a big Alocasia, I definitely recommend this one. And I love this one so much that I recently bought the variegated one, and she is right in here. I'm guarding her with my life. I got a corm, and I don't buy rare Alocasia corms, but the variegated Regal Shields, the Albo, are so freaking expensive. I just had to snag this corm up. I got this from Taz. Her mom gifted me the pink dragon, and this is off of her mom's plant. And I'm really, really excited to grow this corm out. I was a little anxious purchasing a corm just because I know like variegation is unpredictable, but I'm not like concerned with a corm not making it. Like I'm fairly like confident growing corms. I grow like hundreds of corms, but I'm excited for it. I'm actually filming a process on this plant and like taking you week by week on everything that I do with this until I get its first little leaf, so I'm excited for that. But it's so cute already. I adore it. It came yesterday, so I put it in this little setup. It's in my cabinet. I cannot wait for this little cutie to grow. I'm gonna be watching this guy like every day. And maybe one day I'll have a big variegated Regal Shields to grow. Gorgeous. I love this Alocasia. Next up is Alocasia Sinuata. This is also known as Quilted Dreams Alocasia. And this one is like a very vibrant green. Like it looks very vibrant in the light. I don't know, it just has this cool color. I don't have like this type of green, I feel like. It's very dark and shiny and just a cool leaf shape. It's really cute. I love this leaf here. Look how cute that is. I found this one at the big box store, and of course I had to snatch it up because I didn't have this one. This one's done fairly well since I had it. I felt like it was a pretty easier going one transitioning to Pon, and it's done well in Pon ever since. And it's so cute. I love like everything about this alocasia. So I feel like if you've been wanting this one, I say go for it. I don't think it's given me like any trouble, like I said, and it's so cute. I love it. I love like the leaves. They're all roughly the same size, I would say. I mean, some of these ones at the bottom are obviously like the smaller leaves, but I would say probably this is the biggest one here. So I like that it's petite. It's really cute. I like this one. Next group of alocasia I have to show you is Alocasia Watsoniana. I fell in love with this alocasia earlier this year. Of course, I found it on social media. Someone posted it and I immediately fell in love. And so this one here is white vein, and then I have a dark form here, and then I have a little one that's supposed to be the lightning version, although I'm not sure. So this one here is my favorite, the white vein, because look at this leaf, you guys. Oh, she is beautiful. I love the close sinus and the veining. This leaf is pretty new. It hasn't fully hardened off. That's one of the original leaves there and there. It's taken a while to grow a new leaf in Pon, and I have a little corm popping up down here. I had it in Pon for several months and then it finally spit out this new leaf, which is gorgeous. So this one might be a bit of a slower grower as far as alocasia goes, but she is gorgeous. She was well worth the wait. And this one here is called a dark form. You can see the difference between the two right there. And that little brown part is where I accidentally burned her by my grow light, and there too. But you can see the difference. I love them both, but this one here I like more. This one has a new leaf coming on the way down there. And I felt like this one grew a little bit faster in Pon compared to this one here. And the stems are very, very long. That's how they got burnt, because they reached up to the light and literally twisted the leaf. It literally like went up and twisted to face the light, and then it got burnt before I could move it away. I love this alocasia so much that I recently saw that there is a lightning version, which is more of a gray white. And this was supposed to be that one, but I don't know if it is. It's a bit of a rehab project. I got this one the same week as I got the Longiloba, and this one shocked as well. I moved it out of soil into Pon, and I had one little corm that survived. Everything else rotted. So I'm hoping it does okay. I felt like it had some roots when I put it in here that were growing healthy. So yeah, it's gonna take a while for this one to actually grow a new leaf, and once it grows a new root system, I'll get it into Pon. But if it's slow like these guys, this is gonna be months and months down the road. So I'm gonna be patient, but if it's not the lightning version, I will go out and purchase it because I have to have that version. It is beautiful. So Alocasia Watsoniana, I love her. Oh, we got a storm coming in. I hear it thundering. Last up is a new one that I just got the other day. You guys have not seen this one yet. This is Alocasia Yucatan Princess, if I'm pronouncing that right. And she is beautiful, you guys. Look at that leaf. Gorgeous color. I love the pink and the green. This green is kind of more like an army green in a way. I don't have a green on an alocasia that's colored like this. It's crazy all the different tones of green. This leaf has a little variegation and this one has a little variegation, but this one has more. This is the newest one, so I hope the next one that comes has more color. But she's beautiful. I saw this alocasia on social media and I had to get it, of course, because I love it. And I love the pink stems too. Isn't that so cool? That is beautiful. I'm gonna let this one acclimate for about a week, and then I'm gonna slowly transition this to stratum and then move it to Pon. That is my plan with this one, but she's beautiful. I love her so much, and I'm so excited to have this one. Super excited. She's beautiful. I love her so much already. And just checking my list, and yeah, that's it. That's all my alocasia that I have. So with the New one that is on the way, the Poly Aurea, that will be, I think, 33 Alocasia. That's technically mine that I'm caring for. And I also have like 100 or so baby Alocasias that are growing. I'm farming Alocasias for my shop, so I'm not even including any of those in this video because I have so many little baby plants. They're like duplicates of all my plants because I grow them from corms, you know, but I have a lot of Alocasia that I care for. So I really hope you enjoyed my collection, and I love Alocasia so much. I cannot wait for, I don't know, I'm always going to be excited to get new Alocasia because I love them. So I'll definitely be purchasing more. I might be tempted to purchase more corms. If the Regal Shield goes well, I'll be tempted to purchase more rare corms, just to save money, because buying an established plant is a little bit more costly. But then again, it's like some of those things where you pay less for not knowing what you're going to get and then paying more for like something you can actually see, which I'm more inclined to do with this so that I know what I'm getting. But we'll see. I just wanted to take a chance on that and see how it goes. Thank you so much if you watched this video all the way through. I appreciate you. And yeah, I really hope you enjoy my collection. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.